discussing facts. We have patriots of Syria here with us, and I think it would be the right thing to do, to give the floor to the small boy here, Hassan Diab. He's only 11 years old. You can see him on the white helmets footage. He's an alleged victim of the chemical attack. But first we would like to ask his father, Amar Diab, to say a couple of words. And after that, if Hassan wants to say a few words, he will be given an opportunity to do so. Good evening. My name is Amar Hassan. I'm the father of this little boy you can see here. I'd like to speak about the truth of what happened. My children heard the screams that they needed to go to the hospital, so they went to the hospital. They saw fires in the streets, they saw smoke, so they came to the hospital, to the tunnels near our house. In the hospital, some people took my children and brought them to the ambulance, and they started pouring water on them, cold water. Now, because of that, they have suffered, and my wife explained that these children were brought to this hospital without asking their parents. Later we found out that this was a fake. We saw absolutely no evidence of chemical weapon, and all of my family members are feeling well. We were in the basement and we heard people shouting that we needed to go to the hospital. So when we were in the hospital, we went there through the tunnels. At the hospital they started pouring water on me. The next participant of our talk today, Khalil Al-Jaish, a doctor. He's an expert in resuscitation. Good evening. We came here to inform the world on what happened in Duma, because what happened goes against what was shown in the media and spread through the media, because the video you have seen shows the hospital, the emergency rescue department, and I have been there. I have seen what happened, and what happened had been shown on this video, because on the 7th of April I have been in the hospital. About 7 p.m. we had people coming in suffering from asphyxiation, but the fact is it was because of smoke. So they had difficulty breathing because of smoke intoxication, and the reason it happened was because nearby building has been bombed, and there was smoke and dust that came inside into the hospital, into the buildings, and in the shelter where people were hiding, people unfortunately inhaled all this dust and smoke, and this is why they had difficulty breathing. So the symptoms of asphyxiation were relatively mild, moderate, and we did everything that we were supposed to do. We gave them oxygen masks. We proceeded as we always do in such cases. We gave them hydrocortisone. Then a person came, one of the white helmets, and he started shouting that there was a chemical attack, that chemical weapons have been used. And after that, at the emergency care, we saw people creating this hysteria, this chaos in the hospital. They started dousing people with water. We didn't believe these people because we saw no symptoms of chemical attack, chemical intoxication. So there were no evidence of chemical weapons use. All these things, all the people who had suffered from asphyxiation came home later that day. There were no deaths, no people died during that day. And this is the only emergency care in all of Duma.
Okay, there you have the truth. Real people, the doctor at the hospital, the child that ended up in the white helmets, and the white helmets trying to create panic and then stage a false flag event, knowing that here they had been defeated. ISIS defeated, al-Nusra, al-Qaeda, all of them defeated. And in fact, Assad had been providing buses. They could take their weapons, their families, and leave, and they had been doing so. There was no earthly or military reason to have created any kind of bomb effort against them. It made no sense, but it made a lot of sense if you wanted to see the Assad retaliated against, demonized. That's the game. Now, we've provided you with the truth. We've had interviews with Miss Beasley and others who have been there. Why is it with all the resources of CNN, NBC, ABC, New York Times, Washington Post, Boston Globe, Miami Herald, LA Times, none of them have got this right? Not a single one of those journalists have got it right. The person at least did not commit to this stampede of guilt before any proof was provided was Tucker Carlson on Fox. And he's the only one on Fox I would ever trust. Please get him this clip. Send this to Tucker Carlson. See if he'll play it. Because he was right when he told the people on his show, you don't have the evidence and we've been lied to in the past, because there have been others, cases where it was shown by Seymour Hersh, one of the greatest reporters in the world, that we were going to bomb them. Everybody was all pro-bombing. And then it was shown that it wasn't Assad. All of Assad's chemical weapons were decommissioned and taken out of the country. They have none. And when I heard some loon last night on Fox talking about how they're so certain about their positions and no one was there to challenge them, that they're wrong and have been wrong on all of these false flag operations. So please send this to Tucker Carlson. At least you all have heard the truth. And that's what, maybe it's one of the reasons that we have so many millions of people coming to the website, reading the articles, listening to us, because we're not ideological. We're just looking for the truth.